professor, I know education is always at the center of your attention because you are a very knowledgeable professor and also as the director of UNESCO in China. So what progress has China made in the field of education compared to your first visit in 1990s?
I came to China first in 1999, and I was a relatively young scientist working in the area of water and environment. Then as I started working in UNESCO since 2008, and I've been more involved with United Nations programs more than before as a professor, now as a UN person, as a UNESCO person, I'm very pleased to learn that China has achieved universal education a long way before even we started the SDGs. We started the SDGs in 2015, and one of our aim, SDG 4, is to make sure we have universal access to education. So China has already achieved that 2010. So now it's about quality education, and it's also bringing technologies in education. Technologies such as artificial intelligence, ICT-based classrooms, also making sure the education is more international at all level and linking with many of UNESCO's initiatives.
So I really wonder what's the difference this time for you as the director of UNESCO in China, and how do you feel about your work, your life in China? So how do you see Chinese modernization and
modernization, we have to be very careful what we describe as modernization. I think it's continuity with the change. So we are continuing, and there is change which is happening all the time. So innovation and modernization is happening since Confucius' time. It's not something we just discovered. And it is through deep thinking, learning, working together at different levels of society. But also modernization in terms of, for example, now the e-commerce, what we have here, is seamless integration of a way we can pay our
e-payment.
Visa, and I really love it. It's a wonderful system with e-commerce platforms such as Taobao, with the ability of people to make short videos and to promote their products from faraway places. Like I like walnuts, and for that there are so many beautiful places in China which would like to sell it. It would have been very difficult for us to know where they are, so they can introduce their fruits, their nuts, and all of that, and then seamlessly ordering, and the system of transportation, it reaches to my doorstep. So this is real modernization. So e-commerce linking also with innovation and creativity of people, and for them to be able to market their commodities. But also very interestingly, a system, if you don't like something, you can return it as well. So this is the whole value chain which has been developed with the cloud computing, with the big data, the power of our mobile phones and all of that. That's where UNESCO is now working with a number of stakeholders in China on the ethics of AI and how can we use big data. But at the same time, big data, very important for the UN. We have a special UN Center for Big Data in China with the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and China can offer the platforms, and a number of our UNESCO centers like with the Academy of Engineering, with the Tsinghua University, those centers are already offering many types of data available, as we call it, open data and open science, and bringing the technologies to the next level.
You already mentioned that you have tried so many Chinese taste for gourmet, and which is your favorite? And how do you see this, gourmet without borders and promoting the common development?
We have in UNESCO what we call creative cities. And one of the designation of creative cities is about gastronomy, about food. So we have a number of those gastronomy cities in China, like Macau, for example, very beautiful Macau. The food is very special, but also there are other cities here as well. So the food from China has very unique characteristics, and for the outside world is Chinese food, but within China there is so much diversity, like Sichuan food, for example, or the Guangdong food, for example, and Shandong breads, for example. All of them are very special in their own ways, and the different cuisines which have come through. It's also modernization. I went to Shunde in Guangdong province, and I was so amazed with the skills of the chefs. They could cut the fish so thin and so fast and so wonderful, and they could use buffalo milk to create a special sweet dish within a very short period of time. So all it needs is you warm up milk and you take some ginger juice and put inside, and it turns into a beautiful dessert for you. And I learned from them. So very, very special. So all of those special foods which China offers, they are special for the whole world. And also Chinese tea.
And nowadays women's rights are increasingly noticed, but still there are more and more challenges. So I just really wondering how we can really promote and protect women's rights in the developing countries.
Yeah. So that's where the first one is we need to empower them through education. And education at the same level as for a male, so there should be no differentiation between girls and boys. That's what we are promoting through goals such as gender equality, SDG number 5. And that's what we are promoting with the special prize for women and girls education, with Excellency First Lady as the special envoy of UNESCO. So we are looking for those best examples to promote the girls' education. But also very importantly, how do we celebrate the success of our brightest? We have a special partnership in UNESCO, L'Oreal Women in Science. So women have a right to look beautiful, but at the same time, they also have the right to be promoted for their wonderful work. They should become the Nobel laureates, and in the process can also be UNESCO laureates as well. So we have been promoting them. In UNESCO, we have a number of reports which deal with the culture, which deal with education, which deal with science. And we met with Excellency First Lady and President Xi Jinping, and also and we got very good hearing from His Excellency President Xi Jinping. So also China is a strong supporter, as I said, with the Literacy Prize, with the women and girls education, education in Africa. So we are taking many of those steps together and making sure that we don't leave anyone behind, and it should not be just a lip service.
Well, how do you see the role of Belt and Road Initiative in promoting regional connectivity and common development?
It's a very, very important initiative for the development of the world, with China's wonderful development. Ever since I started coming to China, every year you come, you see a different China, completely different China. So China has transformed itself in terms of roads. The roads have become really one of the best in the world, in terms of telecommunications, in terms of university infrastructure, in terms of bridges. So we have seen that progress, and how do we bring such progress to the other countries? And so Belt and Road is a very innovative initiative of President Xi. With 10 years, 155 countries have now benefited from it, more than $1 trillion. So it is a very key initiative to help build infrastructure where it is needed, because infrastructure is necessary for our sustainable development. We need infrastructure for us to provide access from, let's say, from our fields, from agriculture produce to the markets. But also at the same time, infrastructure to help people to get connected through our railways and through our projects which are through our roads, for example, or infrastructure for providing access to water through dams, for example, or by building the academic institutions, for example. So it has been a wonderful project, more than 3,000 projects, and more than 420,000 persons got jobs because of this as well. So certainly a very ambitious project, very, very ambitious project, and very generous in terms of the total investment. And in many cases, there was no such investment with the China-Pakistan economic corridor. Maybe this progress would not be possible for Pakistan to build the roads all the way to Gwadar, which is a major port, which I know in Balochistan, providing access to a completely new a seaport, which can actually be future for Pakistan and of course for China, to bring goods and services to the Gulf states and going all the way to the Europe. Only then we can change this world. So I really commend President Xi for being very bold and for Chinese people to invest their own money, and then the linkages which have been created through the Belt and Road Initiative between people, including also with UNESCO's work, like with World Heritage Sites, and also this reference back to the Silk Roads. Silk Road, by the way, is UNESCO World Heritage also. And there are many other World Heritage sites along these Silk Roads, and there is a culture to be exchanged. So these Silk Roads were very important routes for trading of silk, for tea, and also for bringing back, for example, spices, bringing back many other products. So the Belt and Road Initiative brings that spirit, and the maritime Silk Road, and then linking, for example, with Indonesia, the example we have for the project linking Jakarta to Bandung. Very, very wonderful project. So I always pray that this opportunity becomes real success for everyone. And that's what United Nations is trying to do. It's very much aligned with what we are trying to do with the Sustainable Development Goals. And with the Sustainable Development Goals and Belt and Road Initiative or Global Development Initiative or Global Civilization Initiative, they're basically very much aligned about bringing prosperity through multilateralism, through respect for other cultures and respect for people. And this is really a great initiative.
Related technology cooperation, and just now you already mentioned, but I want to invite you to share more your thoughts on how can different countries really work together to share the good outcome of technology cooperations and to really work together.
There is also a challenge about the trust as well, and how do we create that trust and the feeling of more transparency on all sides. So that needs more, I would say, technical cooperation, cultural cooperation, and more of people who can understand all those difficult areas as well. So that's where the role of science and technology is very important. UNESCO has a number of UNESCO chairs in China, which are connecting with the Belt and Road countries, including in Beijing. For example, we have set up a new chair at the Petroleum University, which is linking issues such as climate change and carbon neutrality. So there are those things which are happening. Chinese Academy of Sciences has established a new geoscience center at the Qaid-e-Azam University in Islamabad, which is also a very important step forward for linking the higher education institutions together. So that cooperation already has started to happen. There are joint university initiatives, like there is a university in Pakistan about marine science, which is supported by China. And similarly in Africa, there are institutions which are actively linking with the institutions here. But this may not be enough. We need to do more. We need to have joint centers. We need to have joint chairs, chairs which are equally supported by China and by countries in Africa, by countries along the Belt and Road. So I think that's the next step for the Belt and Road initiative, for bringing more technical cooperation, bringing more tourism through culture and innovation, and also opening up the markets like we have in China now. Anywhere in China, people producing different goods and services, they can link to anyone, anywhere. So if we can go to that level, and then connectivity with the train networks, with the road networks, should be able to promote tourism, should be able to promote new opportunities for the local people.
I really would like to invite you to share one of your favorite motto.
The best virtue is like water.
善如弱水.
如水.
Oh.
Yeah. So because it also links with what I do. But also there is one in Pakistan very similar to this. And then also very importantly, what President Xi says, the shared prosperity, and we say, leave no one behind in the UN. I think all these things eventually are connected together.